Melissa Gilbert. The headline from People Mag's Instagram: Melissa Gilbert is continuing to stand by her husband's side as Timothy Busfield faces charges of alleged child sex abuse. The Little House star voiced her support in a letter to the judge in his case. She wrote, quote, "The reality is that Tim Busfield is my love, my rock, my partner in business and life. He is my comfort and my counsel. His joy," wow, this is a lot. His joy, I'm not hearing he's innocent. "His joy, humor, and quick wit bring sparkle to my life. Tim is, quite simply, the beating heart of our wild and wonderful extended family. I can tell you and anyone that I know Tim better and more intimately than anything in his life ever has. Shouldn't it be anyone? Conversely, he knows me in the same way. Why is it conversely? Anyway, quote, Tim has the strongest moral compass of any human I have ever known. He has dedicated his spiritual self to always being of service to others." Well, you could read that in multiple ways. And he starts every day with kindness and compassion. Now, Rob, Tim submitted a brief to the court in which he detailed his own sexual practices and his sex life with Melissa. And in that brief, he said that he doesn't really have sex with his wife. They prefer to cuddle. He doesn't really prefer to have sex with her. Actually, what he really loves to do is masturbate in the shower, but that he hasn't jerked off in about 6 months. Does this seem like an advisable disclosure to you, either to the court and or the court of public opinion?
Maureen, hello, my friend. No, it's Tone. Dev, I don't mean to laugh at this because it's really serious and it's really ugly allegations here. And there are more than one, and they seem pretty credible to me. And this is Hollywood doing what Hollywood does the worst, some might say the best, which is just bury their heads in the sand. They knew many, many times that stuff was changing in Hollywood. They knew streaming was coming. They did nothing. They knew talkies were coming, what, in the 20s? They did nothing. Hollywood is very, very slow at changing, and let me tell you why. Because it's a fantastic place if you're part of that system. And so they often protect one another. They rally around. And this is a really ugly, ugly example of them once again rallying around a cause, a person, a situation that anybody else would just take a moment, would take a pause, would want to say, let me get all the facts, would try and figure this one out. You recently did a really great column in the Daily Mail about shutting your mouth until you know all the facts. And I think that Hollywood has led the way, blurting out a reaction and not actually sitting down and thinking about this and taking a moment, take a pause. This is a moment for that family to reflect, to get to the bottom of this, to have a lot of explanation. They've got a lot of explaining to do. But no, instead, we hear about masturbation in the shower and how he is the center of her world, as if she is the center of this case. It has nothing to do with you, Melissa. It has nothing to do with your world, with how he makes you feel. It's, did he feel other people?
You know, Rob, you've said so many really interesting, smart things right here. And I want to break it apart and talk about several of them. One is, what is the possible thinking that Timothy Busfield thinks that this disclosure, I believe unprompted, I don't believe the court ever asks, like, give me your sexual practices this early on in a case, let alone, you know, that would be something I think would come up on cross, if anything. But he's submitting his sexual practices in which he's basically saying, I don't enjoy having sex with my adult wife. And you know what I prefer to do? I prefer to jerk off in the shower. And you know what? I haven't really even done that in 6 months. I mean, I think that opens more questions than it answers.
Yeah.
You don't like having sex with your adult wife who just issued a statement in which she said you're the sun, moon, and stars?
It's a crazy statement. It's a tone-deaf statement. What he thinks he's doing here, and I hope his legal counsel do not agree with him, although I've got to predict that they do, because he did write this letter and he did issue it. What he's trying to do is paint a narrative that, just like Michael Jackson, he's not a sexual person. Sex is
No.
Bonds. He's not that guy that's always hard and ready to jump. He's not sexual energy. He's just that mellow type of guy who's like Peter Pan, and he just doesn't enjoy really sex with anybody. He'd rather have sex with himself and masturbate, and he doesn't even really enjoy that anymore, Maureen, because he's not a sexual person. That's what he's trying to do.
You are so right. You are so right. And it sort of jibes now if this is the mentality that we're working with a Timothy Busfield, with that video he gave to TMZ from the grim balcony at no doubt some Holiday Inn Express in Albuquerque. Hey, everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood Tim. I'm not a child molester or what's commonly referred to behind bars as a chobo. Not me. I'm just a director, and hang in there because I'll be getting back right soon to create some more mediocre shit nobody watches. I mean, you would think that this was, again, like, not that the level of artistry really should have anything to do with it, but with a Michael Jackson, as you mentioned, there was a real resistance in the culture to believe that could possibly be true because of what a singular talent he was, and so what he gave to the culture. It was almost unthinkable. And but with the Timothy Busfield, it's like the guy's got a history of accusations, and there was a third bombshell filing on Wednesday. And in the wake of this, what do we see? We see his Hollywood friends coming to the fore with full-throated defenses of him. And by the way, this does not bode well either to me, because these are his colleagues, his co-stars from freaking 30-something, which was a hit in the 1980s. People haven't heard, today's generation has no idea who Patricia Wettig is, or who Peter Horton is. And they're coming forward. Peter Horton, and we're going to get to another major effing offender in this space, similar testimonials for a sex offender, a violent sex offender. Peter Horton comes forward and in substance says, I would trust him around my daughter, or my daughter. I'm a father and I would trust him. Really, would you? Because if you would, I don't trust your testimonial. I think your judgment's out of whack.
Yeah, these comments, I've been reading them like you, Maureen. They are at best worthless. They certainly don't help. They potentially could hurt. The only statements that are valid at the moment are people that have worked with him on the sets where he's been accused of this outrageous, disgusting behavior. Where are the actors on that set? They're not defending him. Where are the crew on that set? They're not saying anything. Just because I worked with you 30, 40 years ago, you don't know what I was up to 6 months ago, 6 years ago. So I think that all this stuff it's just noise. They're not particularly big names. It's not like Angelina Jolie has issued a statement and the whole world are going to pause. I fear here that his friends are not really trying to help him, but my experience of Hollywood, they're trying to help themselves. They're so desperate to get back in the spotlight, and they think their voice is so important that they have to issue a statement. No, you don't. You don't. In the same way, we're guilty of this too. Whenever a celebrity dies, everybody on Facebook has to put a picture up of them and that celebrity that they once met at Barnes and Nobles or at Starbucks. You don't know them. You had a picture with them once. I think these statements that you read out, Maureen, are all they're just white noise. They're just a red herring. They're not going to help him. They're not going to hurt him, but they are just getting in the way.
You're so right about the celebrity tragedy vulture. It makes me think of Carol Radziwill, who did not know Tatiana Schlossberg, the daughter of Caroline Kennedy, who just died tragically at age 35 of leukemia. She runs to Instagram. Though I hadn't seen Tatiana in quite some time, it reminded me of fuck off. It's so disgusting. And you're so right. And this is the rot at the heart of Hollywood. And again, if Hollywood wonders why it's dying, there is no crime alleged too vile. And that includes the sexual molestation of minor children who, according to their therapist and pediatrician, are suffering from PTSD years later because of what this guy allegedly did to them. And nothing's too vile. I'm just going to come forward because now my name's in the media again. Oh, the guy I knew never could have done that. If I knew anybody who was credibly accused of something like that, you can best be assured I would be keeping my fucking distance. I would not want my name anywhere near that shit. When was the last time you truly trusted the seafood that you brought home? The nutrition, the taste, the sustainability? Introducing Wild Alaskan Company. Their seafood is 100% wild caught, never farmed, which means no antibiotics, GMOs, or additives, just clean, nutrient-rich fish that supports healthy oceans and fishing communities. Wild Alaskan Company delivers perfectly portioned, wild-caught seafood straight to your door. The fish is frozen right off the boat to lock in flavor, texture, and nutrients like omega-3s. Every order supports sustainable harvesting practices, and their flexible membership includes expert tips and feel-good seafood. My personal favorite is the wild sockeye salmon. It's rich, buttery, and incredibly fresh. And the best part, you can try it risk-free. If you're not completely satisfied with your first box, Wild Alaskan Company offers a 100% money-back guarantee, no questions asked, just high-quality seafood that you can feel good about. Not all fish are the same. Get seafood you can trust. Go to wildalaskan.com/nerve for $35 off your first box of premium wild-caught seafood. That's wildalaskan.com/nerve for $35 off your first order. And thanks to Wild Alaskan Company for sponsoring this episode.